The legalization of marijuana for medical research was pushed by Santi Orastuti, a mother with a 13-year-old daughter who has cerebral palsy. However, the Constitutional Court rejected a judicial review of the country's narcotics law.
The 6.5-ton cannabis stems with a height up to 2.5 meters have been destroyed and burned.
The field was set on fire and was witnessed by local residents. Police across the country continue with its war on drugs in an attempt to save the nation's youth from the dangers of narcotics.
These cannabis plants generally vary between 2 to 6 months. A small hut, which was suspected to be the owner's shelter, was also found and destroyed at the location.
The discourse of cannabis has always sparked controversies in Indonesia. Today, the cannabis use is illegal and strictly prohibited in the country. However, despite of the law, the cannabis is actually a rooted culture in the archipelago that has been carried out since time immemorial. Based on Historical Dictionary of Indonesia, cannabis was firstly discovered in Java on the 10th century. Meanwhile, Sativa Nusantara Foundation claimed that cannabis was believed to be brought to Indonesia by the traders and fishermen who came from Gujarat to Aceh on 14th century for exchange of goods. Cannabis then spread to eastern Indonesia, and the plant was also believed to be present in the early civilization of Javanese people. The claim was supported by a Hindu artifact in Kendali Sodo Temple in Mojokerto that shows relief sculpture of cannabis-like leaves that was considered to have a religious meaning in Hindu rituals at the time. With the wide use of cannabis in the past, the significance of the plant was documented in many works of literature found in many regions of the country and even in Southeast Asia. One of them was in Aceh. In the late 70s, the Indonesian government closed the door and banned cannabis in all around the country. However, in Aceh, cannabis had a very deep and cultural impact on their societies before the legal hammers crushed them. Tajul Muluk is an ancient manuscript that originated from the Middle East and was brought to Aceh by Persian traders on the 16th century. The manuscript contains guidance on human lives alongside nature, including the role of cannabis among Acehnese people.
Para orang Aceh dulu menggunakan ini adalah yang pertama sebagai anti bius, obat bius, luka, karena luka kena tembak, dan ini full digunakan di saat penjajahan Belanda di Nusantara ini. Salah satunya Aceh. Jadi ketika tidak ada obat lain, tidak ada betadin dan sebagainya, ini digunakan sebagai bahan untuk obat. Di samping untuk obat, yang perlu kita jelaskan di sini adalah dia bisa melindungi tanaman di perkarangan atau di perkebunan. Kalau ada orang mau menanam jagung, ada orang menanam padi atau menanam cabai dan sebagainya, ini adalah menjadi suatu tanaman yang melindungi tanaman yang lain. Karena kalau ada ganja ini, dia tidak akan dihinggapi oleh hama-hama yang ada di sekitar itu. Kemudian menyangkut dengan makanan, kuliner dan sebagainya tentang ganja Aceh. Dulu ganja Aceh ini daunnya dibungkus makanan-makanan untuk disimpan. Supaya untuk mempertahankan kualitas makanan, memperlunak makanan, jadi mempertahankan daya tahan makanan itu lama apabila dicampur makanan itu dengan daun-daunan di ganja.
So, cannabis might be widely used by Acehnese people in the past. But as of today, Aceh is famously known for its illegal cannabis plantation cultivated on a burnt forest site. Interestingly, on the other side, the implementation of Sharia law and strong Islamic values in the region rejects the notion of cannabis that is considered as a harmful substance. So, with this existing paradox, is the cannabis still pretty much relevant in their society?
Kami membolehkan saja kalau bisa akar ganja itu, karena ini DM-nya sudah parah sekali, darah manisnya sudah parah sekali, maka digunakanlah itu. Ya oleh karena itu, dia pelan-pelan turun pelan-pelan. Kita lihat wajah orang sakit itu sudah mulai jernih, kita lihat kulitnya juga sudah mulai jernih, gara-gara makan akar ganja tadi. Maka oleh para ulama membolehkan menggunakan untuk obat, sekedar untuk obat saja. Ya, pengolahan akarnya itu direbus, takaran airnya 2 gelas, sisa 1 gelas. Nah itu baru dia diminum kan. Setelah dingin, agak sedikit dingin diminum, alhamdulillah dia segera jadi obat insyaAllah.
Other than Aceh, the use of cannabis as a herbal medicine is also rooted in other regions all around Indonesia. Another cannabis-related literature is Herbarium Amboinense, written by G.E. Rumphius, a Dutch-German botanist in 1741. The book claimed that the people of Maluku used cannabis to cure gonorrhea and chest pain. Even more, the role of cannabis in the medical field was also mentioned in Dutch East Indies advertisements on the late 19th century to cure asthma, sore throat, and insomnia. With the long written history telling about the medical use of cannabis in Indonesia in the past, does it mean that there is a possibility for the cannabis to be reused again as a medicine in the present time? On August 2022, the People's Representative Council of Aceh revealed their consideration in issuing a regional regulation to legalize medical cannabis. This consideration was brought into life as there are rich works of literature supporting the health benefits of cannabis, therefore creating a necessity for medical experts to do deeper research about this.
Ini dibagi untuk 5 indikasi besar, yaitu pertama untuk pain dan sleep. Indikasi kedua bisa untuk berbagai gangguan saluran cerna. Kemudian indikasi ketiga adalah gangguan mood dan behavior. Dan kemudian indikasi keempat adalah gangguan syaraf atau neurologi. Kelima itu golongan lain-lain, di mana spektrumnya juga bisa digunakan untuk pengobatan kanker, muscular dystrophy, HIV/AIDS, glaukom, hipertensi, fatigue, dan asma.
Despite of Aceh consideration and the health benefits the plant brings, it seems that the discourse on cannabis in Indonesia still hasn't reached a light. In July, the Constitutional Court rejected the application for judicial review of Indonesian narcotic law that could see the legalization of medical cannabis in the country. This judicial review request of law number 35 on 2009 on narcotics was submitted by several mothers whose children are diagnosed with cerebral palsy in an effort to treat their children with medical cannabis. As of now, there hasn't been an effective cure yet to improve the lives of cerebral palsy patients other than using the medical cannabis. And while the rejection has destroyed the hopes of many, but the judge has at least ordered the Indonesian government to conduct further scientific studies into the medical use of cannabis.
dalam pokok permohonan, menolak permohonan para pemohon untuk seluruhnya.
Nah, kalau kita bisa menggunakan ganja, mungkin orang yang sakit ini juga tidak ingin minta disembuhkan. Tetapi kalau kualitas hidupnya membaik, at least dia bisa menikmati hidupnya. Jadi seandainya ibu yang meminta anaknya diobati dengan cerebral palsy tadi, bisa kita berikan pengobatan ini dan membuat ibu itu lebih nyaman dalam mengasuh anaknya yang sakit, dan membuat juga anak ini dalam keadaan sakit memiliki kualitas hidup yang baik. Bukankah itu adalah sebuah kebaikan? Karena kita mengurangi beban orang tua ini. Nah, tetapi tentunya dunia kedokteran di Indonesia tidak akan menerima begitu saja bahwa ganja ini bermanfaat untuk cerebral palsy, melainkan harus melalui sebuah riset.
While cannabis is still viewed by Indonesian government as a dangerous substance, but its neighboring country, Thailand, has become the first country in Asia to decriminalize cannabis, as citizens can now grow the plant at home and sell it with a certainty in government policy. As of Indonesia, although cannabis was part of the local wisdom in the past, but there is still a long journey ahead and little victory to be seen on the fight for the medical cannabis. But until then, it is certainly not wrong to never lose hope. Cannabis surely had a long history in Indonesia, be it for the herbal medicines or past traditions. Even so, with the rising controversies and the never-ending debate, it seems that there is still a very long way to go for the cannabis to be legalized in Indonesia. Will the cannabis finally be legalized, or will it be forever banned in this country? For now, what we can do is just to wait and see. Adelia Dinda and Dipta Dewi Guna for See Today.